So welcome back, guys, to another video, and it's without a doubt what makes a great console is not just what's in the outside, it's the performance, the games, the controller. But today we're going to make things just a little bit more simplified and talk about my top 10 favorite console designs. So my number 10 is going to be the original Xbox. I really enjoy this console. I think it looks really nice. It made a very bold statement to Microsoft entering the console market, and I like the fact that it's called the Xbox, and that's what it is. It's a giant box with an X, and it really set the bar for the Xbox branding for years to come. And my number 9 is going to be the PlayStation 2 Slim model. I'll go ahead and admit to you guys, I'm not a big fan of the original PlayStation 2, the fat model. To me, it looks like an alarm clock, or it looks like some sort of like ant receiver. It doesn't look like a home console to me. And I get they were trying to go for like this computer tower, very modern look, but the Slim model just looks a lot better. It's a lot smaller. It's built a lot better. I like the fact that I don't have to worry about a CD tray breaking. It's just a door that opens up, put the game in, slam it, you're good to go. Don't slam CD doors. Number 8. The Nintendo GameCube. Like the Xbox, it is what it is. It's a cube that plays video games. It has a little handle. It's got 4 controller ports, which if a console has 4 controller ports, they have an obligation. They have to make good party games, great couch co-op. And I mean, Smash Brothers Melee is a great example of that. I just really love the GameCube. I know some folks thought it would look like a Fisher-Price toy, but I really like the fact I could just pick it up. It was small. I could bring it over to someone's house. I can bring it back to my house. It was great. And over the years, I think my favorite color for the GameCube has been the spice. It's really been warming up on me. I remember, initially being like, I don't know, I'll take the indigo, but the spice, it just has a little vibe to it. I like it. Number 7, the Sega CDX. Listen, the Sega CDX is not only just a cool looking console, but it's also so practical for the sense that you have a CD player that runs off AA batteries, and you also can play Sega CD and Sega Genesis games. If you're someone like myself who collect a lot of Sega, you can definitely understand that the Sega CD and all the tower power just takes a lot of power outlets, and that's something I love about the CDX. It cuts all that right in half. Number 6 is actually going to be a handheld, and the only handheld on this countdown, but that's going to be the Game Boy Advance SP. When I first saw the SP, my first initial thoughts was like, wow, this is like more, mature. This is more of an adult Game Boy handheld. This is a game man right here, because it had the clamshell. And I know that's not a big deal now, but back then, the only things that had clamshells were cell phones and laptops. So you're just automatically like, okay, this is a little bit more premium. It was also more discreet. You could just put it right in your pocket. And if you get the 101 model, the screen is just absolutely beautiful. All right, now we're getting into the top 5, and my top 5 is very specific. It's the Xbox 360 Slim model, the 4 gig. Now, I'll get into why I choose the 4 gig compared to, like, say, the 256 gig model, but I like the size of the Slim. It's substantially smaller than the Xbox 360. It's also built a lot better. You don't have to worry about, like, the red ring of death. I've had the same Slim Xbox 360 since, like, 2010, and it still runs great. But the reason why I chose the 4 gig model is because of the matte finish. I'm not a fan of glossy finished pieces of technology. It's satisfying taking that first initial plastic off, but after that, it's just a magnet of fingerprints and dust and grime. It's just a nightmare. I really don't like glossy finishes. So my number 4 is going to be the Sega Genesis Model 1. Listen, there's a lot of different models of the Sega Genesis, but the original, the OG, just has a certain kind of look to it that I absolutely love. Ever since I was a kid, I thought it looked really cool. It had the high definition graphics on the back of it. It had the red and black paint job on it, and the headphone jack. I'm a big fan of the headphone jack. I can play games on my headphones as a musician. Even as a young kid, I thought that was awesome. Now, my number 3 is a little controversial, because I know so many folks love this console, but the OG, I thought it's ugly. It's gross. I don't like it. But I'm going to go ahead and say the Super Nintendo Junior is the best looking console of that Super Nintendo line. I know. I'm not a big fan of the boxy look of the US Super Nintendo with the big purple sliders. I'm not a fan of that, and I thought the Super Famicom and the UK Super Nintendo just looked too boring. It was like gray. It looked like a paperclip. I don't know why, but when I see the Super Famicom, I think of paper clips. I just think of office supplies. But the Junior, it looks fun. It's, just discreet. It's small. I don't know. I like it. I know it's not the best console of the Super Nintendo line because it's missing S-Video, but it's just such a nice little console. And number 2 is going to be the Famicom, the Nintendo Famicom. I remember learning about Japanese gaming and seeing how these consoles look different than what we got initially here in the States. And I thought the Famicom looked so much more interesting than the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah, I like the fact that the controllers were wired into the console and they just went on the side. I mean, it's not practical, but it is practical. The cords aren't that long, so a lot of times you have to turn the console backwards to play, but I don't know. I kind of like that. I kind of like the look of it. Most importantly, I like the maroon and gold white finish. I don't know. The Famicom just looks so freaking cool. And my number 1 is a super basic looking console, but that is the PC Engine. I don't know. This console is so quirky and so small and low profile. If you guys haven't noticed, I like small consoles because as a collector, you get more real estate on shelf space for more games and more consoles. So if a console can be small, I'm automatically a fan. And the PC Engine is such a little console that just takes a little Hue cards. It's got one controller port, which is okay because the PC Engine is like, hey, it's me and you versus the world, kid. You want to play some R-Type Legendary Axe? Let's go. I just love it. I love this console. When I think of niche Japanese gaming, I think of the PC Engine. I just feel so great. But anyway, guys, what are some of your favorite console designs? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts and opinions. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, but also hit the bell so you're notified on all future videos that come out on this channel. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And as always, happy gaming.